On the Paper Talk today, we'll be looking at the quotes following yesterday's victory over Arsenal, with Marcus Rashford and Anthony getting the goals that saw the Gunners sent packing. We'll also be looking at, potentially, the Glazers could be selling for $3.75 billion, which is less than's been muted before. Let's check it out. Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and it's somewhere between t-shirt and hoodie weather. It's a little bit brisk, but sunny, if that makes sense. So, you know, you can make your own minds up. Anyway, it's the morning after, the evening before Manchester United beating Arsenal 3-1. A lot of the news this morning centres around that result. And there's also news that the Glazers could be going. We beat Arsenal and the Glazers could be going. I mean, somewhere a genie's missing two wishes. Right, I'll get into the Glazer thing in a minute. First of all, I'm going to get into yesterday's result and some of the quotes from it. Erik ten Hag, speaking after the game, he was asked a little bit about sort of Arsenal having chances in our defence, and he says, not worried, I know our defence can deal with that, but they have a lot of creativity, talking about Arsenal. We could have done things better, we are not as long together as Arsenal. When we get that in, we will have better control of the game. That's hard work, there's a lot of room for improvement. He went on to say, I think the first 10 minutes was the best we have played so far this season, but after the cancelled goal, the VAR goal, it wasn't as good, but we had good team today, good team spirit, they fought, they recovered, Arsenal created chances, but we scored great goals, we were great on the break. He then goes on to say, we had a good plan, we didn't get it all on the pitch, we couldn't control it when we should have, we got a setback and we fight back, that's good to see. I like this mentality. So he's talking about there the fact that United did have to battle a little bit for it. We didn't have it all our own way. Arsenal were in the game, but it was great to see the team spirit there, the camaraderie, the passion, fighting for every ball towards the end especially, and also some great counter-attacking goals. Great to see Marcus Rashford getting a couple of goals. You know, he's had a decent start to the season, 3 goals and 2 assists now, and he needed that because after last season, I felt that it wouldn't even be a case of, you know, he's going to be given all seasons to prove himself. I thought he had to sort of, you know, come off the blocks as quick as he could, and he has done because, you know, Erik ten Hag doesn't owe Marcus Rashford anything. He ain't going to wait around to see if he's going to, you know, he's going to rediscover his form, especially when you look at the fact that Anthony Martial had a decent pre-season. We brought in Anthony, you've got Jadon Sancho, you've still got some kid called Cristiano Ronaldo. So yeah, goals from Marcus, good to see, and a debut goal from our Anthony. What more could you ask for, eh? Send the Gunners packing after they had delusions of grandeur. Right, also, we're going to get into this Glazer takeover thing. Now, well, not a Glazer takeover from the Glazers. Reports this morning in the Daily Mail, in the Express, across a lot of papers, I think I've seen this, about this. Glazers have named their price. It says here, Sports Agenda, the $3.75 billion price tag put on Manchester United by the Glazers could tempt interest from Dubai, who are yet to follow other states in buying a Premier League club. Now, this is saying the Emirate, I think it's called, of Dubai, could follow the likes of Abu Dhabi, City, and Saudi Arabia, and Newcastle by bidding for Manchester United. It doesn't say the GNU, though. It's just, I think this is more of a theory. And it also says that the Glazers say, or the reports are, that $3.75 billion would be enough for the Glazers to sell. Now, what's I think it's Mike Keegan for the Daily Mail is sort of saying there, well, Abu Dhabi have done it, City, Saudi Arabia have done it, how do you buy the next Emirate or oil state or whatever you want to call them, country, if that's the right term, to do it? So it's not set in stone that it is going to be Dubai, but this is interesting because we have had reports before, haven't we, that Jim Ratcliffe could be interested in buying Manchester United, and $3.75 billion. You think that would be around the price range that tempts him, because he was going to buy Chelsea, I think, for $4 billion. Although some people looked at that and went, was he really going to buy Chelsea? Or was this him just putting his hand up and going, look, I'm here, I'm willing to buy football clubs. I am a Manchester United fan, as he said in some of his interviews. So it could be interesting to see what happens with this. Personally, I wouldn't want to see us bought by Dubai. I have criticised Newcastle. I've criticised Manchester City. Not the fans, I don't think it's their fault, but the clubs and the fact that they've become this sports washing enterprise. I would hate Manchester United go from horrible owners who I can't stand to other owners who are doing it for the wrong reasons. I don't know if that sits well with me, to be brutally honest. Now listen, I want the Glazers gone, and if they sell up, I'll be buzzing. But I don't think you should just go, well, if they sell up, anyone who comes in would be amazing. You'd have to look at that. It'd be interesting to see how this pans out. there's no happy ending here, but I'd much prefer someone like Jim Ratcliffe. If he is true to his word and he is a Manchester United fan and he does want to do things the right way, which is what he said when he tried to take over Chelsea. He said he wanted to get them to the top of European football and that he was doing this not to make money out of the club, but to build the club up. Now, if that's true, and that's a big if, and he wants to do that at Manchester United, then I'll be all for that. So it'll be worth seeing how that pans out, and obviously, as always, we'll keep you posted. It is interesting, though, that now the Glazers are willing to sell, according to these reports, for $3.75 billion, which is a little bit less, well, a lot less, actually, than what was being reported only a few weeks ago. People were saying 4.5, even $5 billion. Now you're looking at 3.75. You wonder whether that is because some of the pressure that's been put on by the fans, by fan groups like 1958. We saw the protest yesterday, Glazers out banners all over the ground. It was great to see before the game as well. We know there's been pressure put on the sponsors. We also know that it's only a matter of time before something else happens here, because these protests are growing. These aren't going to go away. And you wonder that whether, okay, protests in the game, are they having an effect? I think they are. But the sponsorship protests as well. People hammering the sponsors with negative reviews, putting things in the basket when they're shopping for items from Adidas and leaving them there for 24 hours before not buying them, which apparently, you know, it just causes dramas, doesn't it? It's just, if you're a sponsor at United and all these things are happening to you and you know, you're getting bad publicity, you're going to be looking at you thinking, is this worth the headache? We've already seen sponsors sort of, I think it was a coffee sponsor, was it, that pulled out? Or I think that might be, I'll double check that, but I think that was what happened. So it'll be interesting to see how this one works out, but hopefully we can get rid of the Glazers and hopefully it'll be with owners that are less distasteful. Anyway, just one final thing on the win yesterday. Both Gary Neville and Roy Keane were pinpointing one of the reasons that they felt United could have turned these things around after the awful result at Brentford was Erik ten Hag getting the players in for that extra training and making them run that time when I think they had to make up the distance that they hadn't covered or that they were behind in terms of the distance covered with Brentford. So I know that sentence didn't make much sense, but Brentford ran about, I think, was it 13 kilometres more or whatever it was in their game against us than Manchester United. So the next day, Erik ten Hag got the players in and they all ran 13 kilometres. Now, at the time, a lot of it was made about the fact that this was like the hottest day of the year or whatever, and that some people thought it was out of order. Erik ten Hag ran it himself because he said, listen, I'm as much to blame for this defeat as anyone, so I'm going to run it with you. Which kind of sets the tone, doesn't it, if you've got a 52-year-old running with the players, saying, look, you know, I'm not just saying this is your fault, this is on me as well. Since then, we've won every game. I'm not saying it's just because of that, but Roy Keane and Gary Neville were both saying they felt that could have paid off. I think Neville said, it's paid off. I remember seeing people saying he's got them in running. There were questions about that, but it paid off against Liverpool because of the unbelievable difference. I have no idea what's happened in the last 3 weeks that's made them different to what they were at Brentford. I can't put my finger on it. And Keane added, if you remember what the manager did after the game, and we talk about sports science, he brought them in the next day and ran them. Sometimes you have to put a marker down and go, listen, if you want to play for Man United, whatever your qualities are, you have to run. They didn't run at Brentford. He made huge decisions, but getting them in and going, if you want to play for United, you have to run. I think doing that is a good marker to put down. So Neville and Keane liking what Erik ten Hag's doing. Of course they're liking it because we're winning football matches. We beat Arsenal, we beat Southampton, we beat Leicester and beat Liverpool. It's a good little run that we're on here under Erik ten Hag and hopefully it will continue. Great to see Marcus Rashford back amongst the goals. Great to see Anthony scoring on his debut and great to hear rumours that the Glazers could be selling up. Just a happy day today, ain't it? The sun's shining. What more do you want? Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Also, make sure you are visiting paddockmerch.com. Check out the merchandise we've got there. We've got Marcus Rashford t-shirts. We've got McSauce t-shirts that could be becoming rather popular now after people are probably looking at going, I'm not going to buy one of them. Scott McTominay, he's putting in some games in here, putting in some performances. We've also got Erik ten Hag stuff. Go and check it out. You'll see it all on there. And don't forget as well to subscribe to the channel if you're not doing already. We want to get to 700,000 subscribers by Christmas, and with your support we can do it. This has been Jay outside a sunny Old Trafford for the Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.